you guys should just stop wasting our time. Just wasting our time. This semantic battle sometimes, and who said this, and how did he say it, and so on. It's all useless, as far as I'm concerned. About 1 year before the new patriotic party left power, this country was suffering serious power outages.
Fact.
It has continued into the 5th month of the National Democratic Congress. That is the situation. And sometimes I wonder, I mean, these guys look us in the face and say, oh, it is not dumsor. Do we care whether it is dumsor or you call it by another name? The point is that we are suffering power outages. That's the point.
That's a fact.
You understand? And in your time,
That's a fact.
you had the effrontery, really, to look us in the eye and to tell us that, oh, there's no dumsor in Ghana. What we have is dumsor. Have you forgotten?
Yes, I've not forgotten.
There were power outages. Right now, you have the National Democratic Congress in power. And yesterday, I was reading through the newspapers and so on. And some officials of the Electricity Company of Ghana were telling us that we don't have dumsor. I said, is this not exactly what the NPP was telling us? Do we care what you call it? We don't. Look, there are nursing mothers with infant babies who need special care. And the baby's health suffer when there's no light. Think about them. Think about the many poor people who buy food and stock them in their freezers and fridges, you know, so that they can cope with this increasing cost of food and so on. Think about babies in incubators, you know, think about all those scenarios and fix the problem and stop the unnecessary, useless politicking with power outages. That's what is happening. Unnecessary, completely useless politicking with power outages. Look, the people of Ghana have suffered enough. What the people of Ghana want is for you, again, the politicians, to fix the problems. And the problems are there. The power outages are there. Look, maybe I should not be talking about my own personal experiences and so on. My house nearly got burnt as a result of these power outages.
When?
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Really?
If I hadn't been in the house at the time. You understand? So stop it.
Oh, God forbid.
Stop it.
God forbid.
And stop this blame game and so on. It is a fact that there's a huge power sector debt. All of us know that.
Yeah.
Huge power sector debt. How do we pay it? And that power sector debt is part of the problems leading to these power outages, whether you call it dumsor or not. It is part of the problem. You know, it's a fact that we have antiquated equipment. The power lines are old, you know, the pylons are old and so on. They need to be changed. It's a fact that line losses in Ghana are some of the highest in the world. That's a fact. It's a fact that this whole dream of privatization hasn't worked. We brought in independent power producers because we thought that was the solution. Is that the solution? The situation has gotten worse. So privatization hasn't worked in the sector. And we are talking about more privatization. When privatization hasn't worked, we are talking about more privatization. What's wrong with us? You know, what's really wrong with these leaders that we have? So please, let's solve the problem. Let's sometimes listen to the workers, the ordinary workers in the electricity sector. Listen to the Public Utility Workers Union. I've listened to the Public Utility Workers Union, and they know what they're talking about. Listen to them and stop the arrogance. You understand? If you don't have a PhD to your name, everybody thinks that you're an idiot. Is that the case? Listen to the workers.
Okay.
They have been working this system for years. We came up with something that we thought was a solution. Decouple, that's what came up with Greco and
the value chain. Separating the value chain.
How has that impacted on power supply in this country? Has there been any positive outturn as a result of these useless policies which were implemented? What is wrong with these people? You go to the IMF, they tell you anything, then you come and impose it on us. You go to IMF, this so-called experts, these young persons who have just left university and so on, who are working for the IMF and so on, they come and tell you what to do, and then you follow them. And you have followed them for 18 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. There's no positive outcome. We are still following IMF and wasting our time.